Hey everyone, welcome back to our second check-in. We are dogless today, so no good cameo from our buddy Petey. Want to thank you again for the support yesterday on our first one. If you guys haven't, check our last interview with Kevin Cope. It's called "How Do You Prepare for the Pros and Life After?" Pretty good topic. It's about how do you hedge your bets in college, prepare all in for the pros, or do you want to kind of split it? Invest that time for the sports, but then also your career after. Kevin has a pretty cool dynamic where he actually made it into a preseason for the MLS, but then afterwards he started picking up the pieces of, did I invest enough time in my career? Did I just pick a major? And here I am back to square one. And so it's a dilemma I think that a lot of people are in, whether you're in athletics or not. It's a really compelling topic. So be sure to check that one out. It's on our website. What I want to do, and our coach used to do it in college, it was called the thought of the day. I think we used to think it was pretty funny and, didn't really find the severity of it. But I think it helps kind of ground you at the end of the day of, what's the thought? What was our goal today? You can do it at the beginning of the day, what's the thought of the day? Or you can kind of, what's the culmination at the end? What's the thought of the day? So when I was sitting down, I was thinking today's would be patience. I'm reading Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. There's a link to it. Pretty cool story. It's about how Phil Knight started Nike. What it actually started was a distributor for what is now known as ASICS, and he was just essentially selling their shoes on the West Coast. And I think it was about a 10-year process between being Blue Ribbon, which was his original company, and then actually turning it into Nike and then growing. I think it was 1964 when the idea started, and then around the mid-'70s, late '70s, early '80s when it really started taking off, and then the Jordans came along and so on. So you think about that, that's a 10, 15-year process, right? So are you guys in your endeavors and your stresses, are you willing to put in the long hours and stand through something for 10, 15 years? It forces you to kind of have a game plan. You don't get those instant results. You got to lay the foundation to really go along, and that's something I think even myself. I find myself, trying to get impatient. You want to push, but you really need to have a long-term goal as well. Off of that, it reminds me of our first interview with Vianna McGugan. She's towards the end of her career as a scientist with Pfizer, and now she's diving into her passion. So it was about a 15-year process of her going on these mission trips to Uganda, identifying a need, but making sure that she was actually really ready. She had a plan in place to dive all in. She didn't impulsively say, this is something I like to do or I want to do, dive in without a plan. So it's a different frame of mind. Having the patience, really making sure that you're methodical in your execution before seeing something through. So that's the thought of the day, guys. It's patience. Start thinking like that. Try it out. Either when you wake up, kind of get yourself grounded. What's the thought today? What are we going to do? Or when you get that ride home, what's kind of the culmination of the day? What kind of things were you thinking about throughout the day? Today it's patience. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Thank you.